It's the Married with Channels podcast. Hello, I'm Moose.
Hi, I'm Jody.
We're married.
Yep.
We have channels. We watch them.
Watching them.
We're watching them with our eyeballs. We begin with Andor.
Yeah.
The latest entry in the Star Wars canon on Disney Plus. And this show is very much not your typical Star Wars show or movie.
Right. So, first of all, one comment I want to make is I'm having a hard time remembering the name of the show.
Really?
Yes. I don't know why.
That's weird.
I know, right? It's not difficult.
What's your go-to? Like, what comes to mind when you're trying to think of the show?
Like Andor or like, I don't know. I was like Agora.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, what the heck is this show called?
Endor. Isn't there like a planet in the Star Wars canon called Endor?
I thought so.
This is Andor.
Andor. I don't know. But
it's funny you brought that up because I was thinking, I think a better name for this would be Cassian, which is the name of Andor. It's his first name.
Yeah.
Played by Diego Luna. But anyway, this is set in the years leading up to the movie Rogue One, which you haven't seen, but I explained to you what it was, and I think people can Google it.
Sure.
Basically, it follows Cassian Andor and kind of some backstory there. And this show is, like I said, this does not feel like a Star Wars show. And and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that is kind of different in this Star Wars universe, because when I was watching it, I kind of forgot I was watching a Star Wars show. It just kind of felt like a regular series.
It very much, at least from the first episode, we're about halfway through the third. Let me play the first few seconds of the first episode of Andor. And it, even from like the visuals and the music, I'll tell you what it made me feel. It's dark. There's rain. There's like these neon lights flashing by. There's like this synth kind of music going on. It made me feel very much like Blade Runner. It felt like Blade Runner starting out.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if that really applies for the first 3 episodes we watched. It does kind of have feelings like that, but like I said, there's no Jedis, there's no lightsabers. I don't think we've seen one blaster shot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit when the Canary people go to the crashed vehicle.
Sure.
But it's its own thing, and it feels like if you told somebody this has nothing to do with Star Wars, you'd be like, okay, that's an interesting show, and this is kind of cool.
Sure. So
I like it. I think I want to see where it goes. I like some of the. It's created by Tony Gilroy, I respect him. He's done a lot of good stuff. Not even Star Wars, I don't think. So I think it's got like good pedigree behind it. All the actors are pretty good.
Yeah, I think the acting is pretty good in this one. I feel like it has a very serious vibe. It's not, with the other Star Wars series, there's, some lightheartedness, some humor, some kind of campiness, if you will. And, there's all the different creatures and things like that. And this one just feels more serious and real.
It does. And I would say this feels like this is Star Wars for adults.
Yeah.
Even Mandalorian kind of is geared towards kids a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, look, everybody can enjoy Star Wars, whatever age. But
right.
I don't think there's going to be any action figures sold off of this show. It just seems like it's more for adults.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. There's some adult themes in there, like this one guy who's like this corporate climbing do-gooder wants to make his name.
Yeah.
I don't even know his character's name.
No, but he looks like Kyle from Twin Peaks, doesn't he?
He does a little bit, yeah. I think Sergeant Kostek is his name.
Yeah, he looks like Kyle MacLachlan back in the day.
Cyril Karn, that's the character I'm
Cyril,
thinking.
Yeah.
Here he is, like after Andor, is accosted by these two. They're like security guys employed by a private company that runs this town or whatever. And they are trying to, bully him and maybe shake him down. And he ends up accidentally killing one and then purposely killing the other one. And so this corporate ladder climbing dude for the private security firm comes to his boss with the details, and his boss says,
I know one of these men. Crevasse.
It's another reason I wanted to make sure this got the most immediate attention.
He was a squad commander on 4.
It's obviously fallen a great deal since then. He was a sentry corporal here on 1.
No mystery there. He's lucky he wasn't killed years ago. One of the most unpleasant people I've ever met. There's no suspect at this point.
We have some excellent leads.
A human with dark features asking about a Canary girl who might have been working in the establishment. Are there no witnesses to the actual crime? It's usually quite busy there.
Apparently not. This happened just outside the district at the plaza entrance to the causeway.
Yes,
There's
I know.
an intersection.
I said I know it. Were they robbed?
No, sir.
Tough case. Bad timing.
I'm sure that in several days, with the proper resources, I can bring this case to a...
Stop. And I don't mean just the talking, I mean stop.
closes the room up.
This case appears to bear all the hallmarks of what I like to describe as regrettable misadventure.
Sir.
2 dedicated Primor employees caught in the sad orbit of heroic calamity.
I don't understand.
I want you to conjure a suitable accident.
He's essentially telling this guy, like, these are 2 idiots who were somewhere they shouldn't have been, doing stuff, drinking stuff they shouldn't have been, in a place that we are trying to swipe under the rug. There was an accident here.
Yeah, he's telling him to cover it up.
Yeah, cover it up. Move
Don't
on.
do your job. Do something different.
But it's interesting how, the corporate, the ladder climbing guy versus the establishment, the jaded old establishment, it's kind of painting the reality picture for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not worth anything.
Sure.
It's unfortunate. But this guy's like, we're going to solve this.
Yeah.
And then by episode 3, he's even got like a whole recon team to go hunt the guy down.
Right. I don't think he's going to let it go or cover it up.
But it's interesting. It's a good show, and there's some beats, some moments of Star Wars in there. You got the semi-cute droid B2 emo. You got a couple creatures walking around.
Sure.
And minor little humor notes.
There's a black market for ship parts and things like that. So.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. But I like Andor.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah. And I would say, watch it.
That's right.
Moving on to the Outlaws season 2. A little backstory. Stephen Merchant, who created this along with one of the creators of, it's a motorcycle show on FX that was spun off of Sons of Anarchy, Mayans MC. So they co-created this show, which we've covered before, season 1.
Yep.
So they finished season 1 and he immediately started writing season 2. And the Outlaws, in my opinion, is like one of the better shows out there.
Yes.
I just find it just so rewarding and interesting. There's no fat on that bone. It's all lean meat. It's all good stuff. It's
funny. It's got some heart.
It's got some heart. There's a little bit of, nail biting here and there.
Sure.
You got a little, you said funny, yeah. But and it's got Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Which is great. And we talked just a moment ago before we started recording how, he keeps referring to Greg as High Pockets.
Because he's tall.
Yeah,
I love it.
Give it to High Pockets. Yeah. And it's like, okay, did he improv that or was that in the script? And I'm going to tweet at Stephen Merchant and see if I can get an answer on that. But,
all right.
The Christopher Walken charm is there. He's in his like wheelhouse where he's playing this kind of ex-con who has a heart of gold, but is still drawn to his, malicious ways, or we'll say criminal doing ways occasionally. But
yeah.
It's just a great character study. You have all these different characters going through their own separate things, and it ends very well, I think, on season 2.
Yeah.
And the more satisfied, one of the more satisfying moments was at the end where John, who was in business working for his dad at this parts manufacturing company they own.
Mm-hmm.
Got fired by his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And his dad visited the house, for dinner to visit the grandkids. He said, and he kept insisting it's not personal, it's business.
Yeah.
And at the end of the final episode, his dad's over. He's about to pour wine, and John and his wife tell him,
You're welcome to see your grandchildren whenever you want, but just so you know.
We've spoken to a lawyer, and we're suing you for wrongful dismissal, breach of contract, and workplace bullying. And we are going to take you for every penny you have. But don't take it personal, Dad, okay? It's just business.
Great delivery there, too. Like that beat after personal. And before he says business, great acting on, I forget his name's part. He kind of chokes up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to do this, but God damn it, he has to.
That actor is Darren Boyd.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. It's a great cast. It's great acting. Just all of it is just very well put together.
Yeah. And you have some redeeming characters. Christian, the main drug dealer guy. In the series, it starts out, he's kind of a dick.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a hard ass. I'm gonna turn your sister out type of drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of season 2, he's decided he's done with that life.
Yeah.
He wants to make something of himself. And all these characters go through changes, and it's just a fascinating show. And it ends kind of where it should have with Ronnie and Ben.
Yep.
They're in love. They've bought this food shack on the beach. They're on the train to go start that life.
Yeah.
Ronnie goes to get a snack from the snack car on the train and just pictures herself, behind the counter going, we're out of mustard. We don't have mustard. And she's like, that's not the life I want.
Right. This is not my dream.
This is not my dream.
Yeah.
And it ends very not famously, but very on brand for her.
Yeah.
She's on the outside of the train looking at Ben inside the train, and he looks at her and he kind of knows like,
yeah,
all right.
This isn't going to work for her.
And then she steals a car from behind the back of this couple and just shouts at the top of her lungs as she's hauling ass in a Porsche.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see that character go through that evolution.
Sure. All of them kind of did. Like you mentioned, everybody kind of goes through their own self-transformation and kind of improvement and whatnot. So, yeah. It's very good.
It is very good. Like you said, funny. There's no like downtime. It's all like very well put together.
Yes.
There's no lulls.
There's not a lot of extra stuff in there either that doesn't really belong, It all kind of lends itself well to the story.
Just a great, entertaining show, and I recommend The Outlaws. It's on Prime Video.
Yep.
And the only bad thing is it feels like it's done.
Yeah. Is it done? Do you know?
I mean, they wrapped up everybody's storyline.
Right?
They could, I guess if they had really good numbers on streaming, they could come back, find a way.
Sure. You could keep going with each character's journey. Maybe they slip up again. Maybe they find themselves in a predicament somehow and come together again. I don't know. But
yeah, no, they definitely have this unit now.
Yeah.
Where they know each other. They don't have to be working on the community center or anything like that. They could just be friends.
It's kind of chosen family. They're kind of chosen family. They got thrown into this sticky situation, whether they wanted to be there or not, or whether they contributed to that situation or not. And they found themselves kind of, chosen company over some of their own kind of family members and things like that. So, yeah, it's kind of sweet.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. It actually kind of speaks to when you have to create your own family.
Absolutely.
John is definitely, he has his family at home with his wife and kids, but, it's about finding new family and, evolving and doing better. Mm-hmm. Finding your true self, maybe.
Yeah, that too.
Sounds so cliche.
I know, right?
But it's true. Anything else, my love?
No high pockets.
No high pockets. Well, okay. That's going to do it for us. We will be back with more of the podcast, the Married with Channels podcast. We hope you can come with us because we enjoy you downloading and listening. And give us a good review. Give us 5 stars. That helps other people discover the show. And we will see you next time.
Share, tell your friends.
Absolutely. Until then, I am Moose.
And I'm Jody.
We'll see you later.
Bye.